But the man we met earlier had something else to say.
You
try selling to Southeast Asia and you're getting paid in Indonesian rupiah. You sell in South America, you're getting pesos. In a blink, currency exchange rates eat up your profits. But when you sell to the US, you're getting US dollars, money you can spend anywhere in the world. Look at the Russia-Ukraine war. No matter how bad that got, the US dollar still sits on top as the king of global currencies. That's just the reality. If you walk away from the dollar system, you're basically giving up your ticket to participate in global trade. People talk about shifting to Africa or Latin America, but come on, our brothers in Africa don't even have steady electricity. How are they supposed to buy your appliances? Only the US has 300 million middle-class consumers ready to pay cash. No games, no credit delays. Even with the sanctions these past couple of years, it's still the cleanest, most straightforward market in the world. Compared to all the places where you have to bribe or beg just to do business, the US is like a commercial paradise. One thing you have to remember, capital is 10,000 times smarter than you. The reality is, if you're cut off from the US, the world's main consumption engine, your products won't even have the chance to lose money just for exposure. Relying on Russia or Iran, those countries are barely staying afloat by selling off their own resources. It's easy to bash US hegemony, but hard to face reality. In the global industrial chain, whoever has the buying power is king. The US holds just 5% of the world's population, but drives a third of global consumption. That is absolute market dominance.
On April 8th, veteran US-based journalist Wang Fei posted on X, "What's the CCP going to do now? If they drop the tariffs, what happens to their pride? And for the CCP, pride equals the authority of their rule. Lose that, and regime instability follows. But if they don't drop the tariffs, US-China trade grinds to a halt, and the Chinese economy plunges into negative growth overnight. Again, regime instability. This is what you call lose your head if you go forward, lose your head if you turn back."
Shalom. First of all, I'd like to start off by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to teachers, elders, and apostles of great millstone, likewise brothers, putting on this truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep unto you, brothers and sisters, tuning in. Shalom. Today's lesson's titled, Esau and Moab's Pride. Now, as you saw in that opening clip, okay, their people over there in China, okay, they're distraught, okay, they're facing hell over there, okay, because of what Great Babylon America is doing, okay? Esau, the so-called white man, is doing to Moab, who are the so-called Chinese. So let's talk about Moab being, the next superpower, or who the world like to refer to them as the Chinese being the next superpower. Well, we're going to go into the scripture. We can see who actually really is going to be on top of the world when the Hamashiach returns. Okay, to destroy the wicked of this earth and set up the heavenly kingdom. Let's go into the book of Ecclesiastes 14, and starting with verse 5, it reads, "He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? And he shall not take pleasure in his good." So you have Moab, who's prideful, okay? The so-called Chinese are very prideful, okay? You can see where they've emulated, the United States. They have all the factories, they have the big cities, they wear the suit and the neckties, they build up on their military, and this is the reason why you have most of the ignorant people on this earth believe that they got necks, and they don't, okay? The people that have necks are the lowly, okay, which is the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos, okay, who are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites whose seed line go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And you have Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man, okay, very prideful, okay? And what this is basically, as they like to say in the world, a dick measuring contest, of which Moab, there is nothing for you to measure, because as you can see, your whole entire structure and society depends on the spending of these people over here in Great Babylon, America, okay? And you can see when you have evil people in power and prideful people in power, okay, the lowly will suffer. They're suffering over there in China, and the people are suffering over here in Great Babylon, America. Let's go into the book of Job 9:24, and it reads, "The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the face of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" Now, I haven't seen any picture, okay, of Asian Jesus or Asian God, okay, that the whole world worships. No, what you see, okay, and as you know who the wicked are, is these people who they call Jewish people, okay, they're Amalek, okay. These are the people that are running the earth, okay. These are the people that the Lord Yahweh Shemashai gave authority and power to, okay. You can see that they made the God, okay, in their image, the angels, the prophets, okay. They even made the devil, okay, to really actually look at him. He looks like this is the temptation of Jesus here. And even the devil looks like a so-called white man. So that tells you, okay, who really is in charge, okay? Because the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and the wicked is the so-called white man, not the so-called Chinese or Moabites, okay? Let's go into the book of Numbers 24 and 20. It explains these people. It says, and when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end should be that he perish forever. Okay, so let's think about this, you so-called Chinese out there, okay, you Moabites. Do you really want to perish forever? Because see, this is the judgment for Amalek, okay, and Amalek, okay, or the so-called Jewish people, which I like to refer to them as kikes, okay, these are the short callers of the earth. I just showed you a poster picture of them. Wicked, okay, these are your trillionaires on this earth. These are the people who are creating the wars, who are creating the famine, who are creating trouble everywhere that they set their footprint, you know, in the form of these embassies and, you know, diabolical laws that they make across this earth. But their judgment is going to be that they are going to be destroyed out of existence, okay? You go back into the book of Genesis 27 and start verse 38, you can see where there's two blessings, okay? One blessing was to Jacob, which is the 12th tribe of Israel, which is going to be the heavenly kingdom, okay? We are known as the meek, okay? And then you have the blessing, which is the current blessing right now being played out, which is the blessing to Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man. It says, and Esau said unto his father, who is Isaac, hast thou one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me, also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, which is the typical stance of the so-called white man. He likes to cry when he don't get his way. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling should be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, which is us. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke off thy neck. Okay, so here it is. Okay, Esau right now is in control of things. Okay, and he's going to get those things that he desires so much: power, you know, wealth, through the sword, the fatness of the earth through the sword. Now, he doesn't always have to shoot a missile or, you know, shoot a bullet to get his way. What Trump did, Trump just came on and said, I'm going to place tariff of 145% on China. Everybody else, you're going to be 10% for now for the next 90 days, and you know, Mexico and Canada, you're going to remain at what, 20 to 25%. But China, we're gonna show you you're not the next superpower, and you will never take over the world. You're not. You saw in the opening clip that the young man said, the real money is the U.S. dollar. Okay, the real buyer is the U.S. Okay, and we're gonna go later on, and we're gonna prove that. Okay, that the enduring nation that's going to be still in power and rulership when the Mashiach return is going to be the Edomites. Okay, this is Revelation 12 and 12. And here's what Trump really is perpetuating right now because of the order that he got from the short callers, okay, or the wicked elites. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, which is us. Okay, we dwell in the spirit. We dwell, you know, with the hope, knowing that we are going to be saved out of this hell hole called Great Babylon America. It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he know that he had but a short time. Okay, so we're seeing now here, okay, with a stroke of a pen, smiling in the camera, that this man is able to throw nations into chaos. Don't even fire one bullet, no missile, nothing. Throw the whole world into chaos. So much so now he's bragging that many of these nations are crawling on their knees back to them, trying to negotiate, showing you who really is in charge. Okay, So get it out of your head, okay? These Down syndrome looking motherfuckers over there in China, they're not going to be the next superpower, okay? They're not going to be the next superpower. They've only had a tariff on them for what, less than a week. And the economy is completely falling apart, okay? This is 2nd Ezra 6. And Cyrus 8, he said, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. That's the 12th tribe of Israel. Okay, and Esau is the Edomite. He's the progenitor of the Edomites, the so-called white people. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So there's a reason why this devil is coming out with great wrath, because he knows he has a short time. He is the end of this current world, this current rulership of wickedness, and following is going to be a rulership of righteousness. Okay, even though it's going to be ruled with a rod of iron, meaning what? No foolishness is going to be tolerated in the kingdom. Okay, you're going to have mortals and immortals on this earth. Guess who's going to be immortal? Yes, the children of Israel, or so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos. Okay, let's read the book of Jeremiah 48, and starting with verse 29, because, like I said earlier, okay, you have pride from the Moabites, which is so-called Chinese, and then you have pride from Esau. Let's see the pride of Moab. We have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceedingly proud, his loftiness and his arrogancy and his pride and his haughtiness of his heart. They desire to be like the so-called white man. Wear the same type of clothes and suits. You know, try to have a military, like to parade those military forces down I think it's Tiananmen Square, which is, I guess that's what it's called out there in China. Okay, and you know, and he's not looking at the fact that there are 1.4 billion people or more that is going to be impacted by him saying, well, we're going to stand to the very end. Stand to the very end of what? You can't win a trade war with the United States. How the hell you can win a trade war with the rich? Okay, how the hell you can win a trade war with the rich? All right, going into Jeremiah 48 and 47, here's what the Lord Yahweh Shemashah is going to do to you. Because see, you know, brothers have had interaction with these doggone Chinese out here in Great Babylon, America, and they're racist as hell. They're racist as hell because they really feel, okay, because they got a bunch of doggone skyscrapers that can fall down with any type of wind blowing at them. Okay, but they come over here and they get it easy, get their own little Chinatown and all the other little setup going, and Jake, you know, going to eat all that, you know, abominable food that they serve, okay, which we know is just ruining the health of our people. They're prideful. And I've experienced this personally myself with these doggone chinks, man. It says, yet will I bring again the captivity of Moab in the latter days, said the Lord Yahweh Shemashah. Thus far is the judgment of Moab. Now, leading up to this captivity, which means you're going to go into slavery, so with your 1.45 billion people over there, ooh, we're going to have a whole lot of damn doggone gooks in the kingdom that's going to be slaving and serving. Okay, that's your end result. Okay, you're going to be slaves. You're not going to be next. You're not going to be the next superpower. So what the hell do you have all this dumb pride for? But the Lord put that spirit into you because Moab is also described as a washpot, okay, of the Lord Yahweh Shemashah. Okay. So that's your latter days right there. Leading up to that, you're going to have a whole lot of hell and tribulation. And guess who's going to be putting that on you? The devil. Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man. I mentioned that, okay, in the book of Revelation 12 and 12. Okay, it's coming down with great wrath. This is one of them. Those wrath are in the form of embargoes, tariffs, okay, and even shooting a missile. Okay, this man is given the authority to do whatever the hell he wants to do on earth. See, these other nations, they bow down real quick because, you know, they're not prideful. Aemon, okay, the so-called Japanese, they ain't prideful. They came quickly to the negotiating table and say, Miss Ann, we want to negotiate. My Japanese sucks, okay, but, you know, I used to be able to speak a little bit more Japanese. But anyways, let's go to the book of Obadiah 1 and start with verse 3, okay, because Esau's proud. But boy, the proud of the white, so-called white man is second to none. All right, it's second to none. Y'all Chinese ain't get nothing on this doggone these Edomites, man. It says the pride of thine heart that deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rock, whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? See that? That's pride, man. Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, said the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. Now, here's how he describes Esau. Now, you tell me if this doesn't sound like the so-called white man. It says, if thieves come to thee, if robbers by night, how thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? Esau is greedy beyond comprehension. The so-called white man is greedy beyond comprehension. He doesn't care who he impacts with his greed and his hatred of life. He's anti-life. The so-called white man is anti-life. If the grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some grape? No. They would, but not Esau. But keep in mind, didn't I bring it up earlier what Esau's blessing was? Okay. Isaac, okay, bless him with the fatness of the earth, the dew of the heaven from above, and he will live by the sword. And the sword isn't necessarily going to always be, shooting a missile or a bullet. It can be through the laws of the wilderness, of the land, okay, or of the earth, tariffs and all these other things that they agreed with the United Nations and all that stuff. The U.S. goes and breaks those things. Okay, let's go in the book of Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Everybody's mourning. Guess who's not mourning? Okay, the righteous. The righteous ain't mourning. We expect this. We expect it from someone like Esau. Okay, now you're going to see things calm down a little bit if they come to the table or whatever the case is, because Moab, you have no choice. And I'm going to bring out that scripture in the end to show you not even nations have a choice, because you weren't set up to be next. Okay, this is Jeremiah 49, and verse 7 reads, concerning Edom, okay, the kingdom of Edom, thus said the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shemashai, is wisdom no more in Teman? What Trump is doing is really asinine. Okay, so there's no wisdom. Okay, this guy got Kid Rock in the office. He's got Elon Musk. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, man. I mean, I'm old enough to where I've seen multiple presidency, and it was always straightforward. These guys, they get a nice necktie on, they speak eloquently and all that stuff. But this guy takes it to the next level. It's kind of fun and amusing to watch. I like this guy, man. I like this guy. He's funny, okay? Because he's set up to do exactly what the scripture said. It says, is counsel perish from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? You look at how this guy runs his own business and he runs it into the ground, okay? They're investigating him right now for, did he have an influence on the stock market? Because he told everybody, hey, now's the time to go buy. And guess what? If you had listened to him and went and bought stocks, you'd make so much money overnight. Because the stock market went up the next day. He can't even keep his mouth shut. Okay? Flee ye, turn back, dwell thee, O inhabitants of Dedan. For I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him the time that I will visit him. If grape gatherers, it's telling you again, if grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaming grapes? Yes, they would. But not Esau. If thieves by night, they will destroy till they had enough. Okay? But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered the secret places. How? Through the prophets testifying, preaching. And he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Okay? So we can see through this man clearly. Now, again, people don't know who we really are. We're gods. Yes, we can die. We're mortals. We don't have that body yet. That's coming. But we have the ability to see things. We have the ability to curse and put curses on people, entire households. We have those ability. The Lord answers our prayers when we do those things. I have proof of it. And other brothers have put up proof of it. We can do those things. And that's why we come up with the gospel all the time. We stand up with this man and let the world know. First of all, you Moabites, okay, so-called Chinese, you don't have necks. You can't even take a week of tariff, let alone you think you're going to have a tariff war with. Come on. That's just sensationalism. Let's close up with the book of Revelation 18 and verse 7. Let's show you that Esau is going to be still standing when the Mashiach returns. Why? Because he's the one that the Mashiach is going to put down. How much has she glorified herself and lived deliciously? He's talking about Great Babylon, America. Talking about DC Edomites, but mainly about Great Babylon, America. So much torment and sorrow give her For she had said in her heart, I sit a queen, and I'm no widow, and she'll see no sorrow. Yes, you will. You're going to lose World War III. Oh, there's going to be a slaughter fest coming into this place soon as people start to really lose their mind here. Therefore shall a place come in one day, death, and mourning, and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord powerful judge of the Mashiach is coming with them angels and them chariots and tear this place up in 1 hour. Look at the globe and look at the size of Great Babylon, America. Look at the size of the continent of North America. Yeah, 1 hour. Okay? 1 hour. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, including you Moabites, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Like that guy said, you can talk shit about America all you want like that, but at the end of the day, these Babylonians are buying your shit. You don't gotta like them, but they're buying your shit. That's just the way it is. So why are they crying when they see America is destroyed? Let's go next. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment. Because before the Lord destroys this place is going to fall. Not second world country, third world country. It's going to go into the abyss. And this is why we pray, as the hopefully elect, that the Mashiach save us out of this before he brings that final judgment. Okay? So you can have something called Jacob's trouble. The elect is going to be taken out of Great Babylon, America. So that everyone else that's going to be left here are going to be just pure, evil, wicked people destined for destruction. And that's when the Lord is really going to bring that famine on and those disease and pestilence. Okay? So the elect is going to experience some of it or see it on a low scale. But after the elect, okay, the chosen people that the Lord, the 130 elect, is taken out of Great Babylon, America, and go into the chariot and have the new immortal body, you get to watch how the Lord is going to destroy this place with famine, beasts of the field, and some plagues that beyond comprehension before this place is utterly and completely destroyed. And the rest of the world is going to see this. That's why it says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her, including China, and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, great Babylon, America, the continent of the United States of America, that mighty city, that mighty nation, empire, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. How the hell can the United States be destroyed in 1 hour? Only the Lord Yahweh Shemeshai can do that. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over. Why? I thought y'all hated America. Huh? For no man buy their merchandise anymore. There it goes. Japan can't buy his shit. Thailand can't buy his shit. In fact, that guy said in the video, yeah, by the time you do currency exchange with these other nations to sell your stuff, you're not even making any money. But when you sell it to the greedy Americans who buy things or the boredom, come on, we all did it. You just buy things or the boredom. That's how you make money. All right? And when America is destroyed, nobody's going to be buying anybody's shit on this earth. You see how that works? So you have Esau and Moab's pride. At the end of the day, Esau will prevail to the end and be destroyed and consumed. Moab, you're going into captivity or slavery. Okay? Which Esau, the remaining ones, you know, are going to be dug out of those bunkers and they're going into captivity too. In fact, all your nations are going into captivity. So, there it is. Lord willing, the elect was edified at the close by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.